Now, after she asking her ancestors in the last chapter 6, we will continue the story of chapter 7 to 8. So now let's begin. Ningtian was shocked and wondered how the founder of the sect was still alive, since it had been at least several thousand years, and say that how was that possible? While the ancestor was so happy, because after 1,000 years, he had finally found someone with a godly physique who was sent to him. He couldn't believe it because he was going to live again, while she asked him what he meant by that, and where the manual and the so-called way to become a god that he promised her, but he laughed at her and said that she was too naive for that. He told her that even by practicing with that manual, she would not be able to find the way to become a god, because it was just a rumor that he made up. He thanked her for her foolishness, because he was able to find someone who had a godly physique, which saved him a lot of effort. Ningtian heard it all and thought that it turned out that the Empress married him because of his godly physique, and to get that manual to become a god, his wife asked the ancestor to confirm if the ancestral teachings that had been passed down from generation to generation in their sect were actually fabricated by him, and if the purpose of that was to help him regain his body and return to life. This hypocritical ancestor of theirs said that she was correct. He told her that the previous leaders were all useless, because none of them could find the godly physique, but luckily, he said that because of her stupidity, he could get it now. He mocked her, and our waifu became furious and released an aura. She said to him that he had a death wish, and suddenly cast a heavenly demonic palm at him. The founder saw this attack of hers, but he didn't mind it at all. He accepted the attack and let it land on him. A large impact of energy burst out. Our MC saw this and wondered if that strength was at the Emperor level. He said that compared to his power palm strike that he could produce, that palm strike of his wife was much stronger. While seeing this, I think the founder seemed that he wasn't affected by that attack at all. But anyway, he said to her that even though she was a strong immortal emperor, realm cultivator, she couldn't do anything to him, as an ancestor. And even though he was currently just in a spiritual state, he was not stupid enough to confront her head-on. His real motive was to take our MC's body, that targeting his godly physique. He hurried to approach him, while our MC replied, "Oh, he wants to take my body." He smiled and said to him, "Then, if that's so, he needs to come in." He happily accepted it. His wife rushed to him and said that it was dangerous. She tried to stop it, but the ancestor got inside of our MC's body. She used heavenly demonic palm to strike the ancestor, but it was too late. The ancestor was already inside of our MC's body. The ancestor said to her that there was no way that he was getting out after entering. He laughed at her, while she was so shocked and couldn't believe it. Meanwhile, inside our MC's body, the ancestor was looking for the main core of spiritual C of our MC to take over the body. While he said that according to him, the godly physique was the best of the cultivation physiques, and the ancient holy physique and even the heavenly palace physique were all beneath it, but he suddenly saw something that he didn't expect, that our MC had a very large spiritual C in his dantian. He was so amazed and couldn't believe it. He said that it was so unexpected, that our MC had an amazing cultivation talent, and also, he said that he was so lucky to encounter such a fortune in his life. He landed on it and saw another thing. He wondered where the thunder came from in his spiritual sea. He couldn't believe that the thunder dragon's spiritual vein was inside of our MC. Spiritual vein. It was his first time seeing it in his life, and he suddenly remembered that in ancient times, thunder and lightning had been the nemesis of the spirit. The slightest carelessness could make the spirit fly away. He was so nervous when he realized it, and said that he couldn't stay longer there in our MC's body, because he was sure that he would die. He started to flee, but our MC's spiritual spirit suddenly spoke out and said to him that now that he was inside his body, it was not so easy to get out. It seemed that our MC wouldn't waste this opportunity, and wouldn't let him go as he pleased. The ancestor was so shocked and didn't expect it. He was actually bested like that. He thought that he must have known that his spiritual state was afraid of the thunder and lightning the most, and he realized that with the thunder dragon's spiritual vein in our MC's body, it was impossible to be taken by force, and realized that our MC did it on purpose, that he let him into his body. And he said that our MC was so vicious, and it was a remarkable method, while the system popped up, showing that he successfully shocked him and gave him a reward. a spiritual destruction skill. He was so happy about that reward and wondered if that skill was interesting. He went there to face him and asked him why his arrogance was gone now. The ancestor said to him, while calling him a brat, that even if he was just a spirit right now, he was still in the immortal emperor realm. He made some excuses about how he was not going to be captured by a mere brat like him. He was so nervous at this moment while saying this. He suddenly used a heavenly demonic palm to strike our MC. But our MC was so calm while seeing this action of him, while he used the Thunder Dragon Tribulation to block it, and the ancestor was so shocked and said that it was impossible. But our MC ignored him and started to gather all the Thunder Dragon Tribulation on his body. He used his newly acquired skill, the Spirit Destruction skill, to strike him. Now the Spirit Destruction Dragon going to land it on him. He used a demonic aura to make a shield to not be suppressed by it. But because it was his weakness, and it was such a powerful skill, his spirit was completely suppressed, and he was so angry because of that, and he didn't expect it, that is, was powerful. And he said to him that he couldn't even use half of his power while shouting it so loud. But our MC said to him that the ancestor of the heavenly demon was needed to stop struggling and just turn into power for his godly physique. Hearing this, he was so pissed off at him, he said to our MC that he swore that he would kill him, but our MC ignored him. He told to his dragon tribulation to devour him. The thunder dragon started to devour him, while the ancestor was struggling with it. When he was completely devoured by his spirit, he said his last words that he didn't want to die like that. Well, it was hopeless to seeing it, but it was what it was, so RIP to him. Now that he was completely devoured, meanwhile in the outside his wife was murmuring. She was so sad, and she thought that the manual to become a god was all a rumor, and it was just a scam. While thinking this and looking at our MC's body, she asked herself about our MC. She said that if that was not true, then what was the point of doing that to him, of sacrificing her virginity to our MC? And she said that she couldn't let our MC live. I think she was serious about it, and wanted to kill him. Just kidding. She said that she needed to forget it, 'cause she was the one who was deceived at first. So she said that she couldn't let him be taken by their so-called ancestor, the heavenly demon, in front of her own eyes. She started to help him, but suddenly the barrier broke and shattered before he'd do anything. She was surprised by that, while our MC called her, but she wondered why he wasn't possessed by the heavenly demon. She hurried to check him, and she told him that the ancestor was a strong cultivator in the immortal emperor realm, and he was just a black warrior realm. He had absorbed all the power of the heavenly demon's spirit. While she couldn't believe it, our MC said that he had so much spiritual power that he got while cultivating in the past few days, while he was laughing. The system told him that he had crossed the realm boundary after forcibly absorbing the spiritual power of a strong cultivator in the immortal emperor realm, and because of that, the difficulty of the absorption self-destruction was about to happen. Our MC didn't expect that. And he suddenly shouted so loud and feel that it was so hot, because his spiritual sea was boiling like lava, and also said that it was going to explode. While he panicking like that, his wife kissed him, and he was so surprised by that. His wife was sucking him dry, sucking the aura out of him, and also biting his lips. He felt that it was weird and wanted to stop it, but his wife told him that if he didn't want to explode, he needed to stay quiet. He was shocked and helpless, unable to do anything. He realized that his wife was helping him to suppress the large and violent spiritual power in his body. Now, when he realized it, he touched her waist and let her do what she was doing. And an hour later, his aura had disappeared, and his wife said that it was all done. She pushed him away while blushing. He thought that the process was exciting, but it was a bit abrupt. He saw that his wife had given him a spiritual pearl tool. He asked her what it was. She said that it was a spirit pearl formed with the energy of the spirit, and that it contained the aura of the heavenly demon. She told him that he could use it daily to absorb spiritual aura while he was cultivating. She also reminded him that his cultivation had to be gradual and continuous, and that he should not absorb too much aura at once, because she wouldn't be there to save him every time if he was in danger. He replied that he understood and thanked her. He asked his wife if they had deceived their ancestor by destroying the heavenly demon. When she heard that, she hurriedly to destroy the heavenly demonic statue of their ancestor. She said that the so-called heavenly demon had been deceiving them, and the other generations of their heavenly demonic sect, leader for its own selfish gain. She said that a person who was not worthy of being a member of the heavenly demonic sect could not be considered as their ancestor. She was angry about it, but the most hateful thing that pissed her off was that the manual to become a god was a lie and fabricated. She thought that without guidance on how to become a god, there was no way for her to break through. She said that if the Righteous Alliance attacked them, what would they do? But she said that there was nothing they could do about it, and that if their enemies came, they would fight them with all their might. Even if the heavenly demonic sect was destroyed, she swore that she would make whoever did it suffer in the future. He told her that he thought he was breaking through right now, while she, wondering if he truly had a godly physique, because within a few days he had several breakthroughs in succession, with such a speed, and it was a rare sight. While thinking this, our MC started to cultivate to break through while she leaving there, saying that she would go now and don't want to interrupt his cultivation, and let him cultivate in peace, while the system popped up and congratulated him for breaking through to the 8-star Black Warrior realm, and then he broke through again, and became a 1-star spiritual realm cultivator, and after that, he said that after entering the spiritual realm, the difficulty of cultivation had greatly increased, and so had the aura he needed. He thought that no matter what happened in the future, he had to stabilize his foundation first, in cultivating. Meanwhile, in the shadow demonic sect, a guy was reporting to his sect leader that Yin Sanshi was here. He was surprised and complimented him for breaking through again. This new character called Yin Sanshi was a bit happy about that compliment. He told him that his disciple had already reached the peak of the spiritual realm, and that he was just one step away from entering the Earth King realm. His sect leader said to him that he was only 20 years old, but his talent could be compared to those elders who were around 50 years old. He said that with his potential, their sect had found its next successor. But he said that it was a shame that their sect was being suppressed by the heavenly demonic sect, and that they would never be able to get ahead like that. He said that angrily, and told him that since ancient times, the demons had respected the strong. Yin Sanshi said that the heavenly demonic sect had their powerful Empress, who had been their leader for hundreds of years. His sect leader said to him that the heavenly demonic sect followed the demonic path, and they also cultivated demonic arts. But what pissed him off was that the sect leader was a woman who had a kind heart and a soft hand, and led the people of the demonic path. He said that the leader of the demonic path was their sect. While he was about to explode with anger, I think he looked like a crazy psychopath. But anyway, he said to Yin Sanshi that in 3 days, the heavenly demonic sect would be holding a Tao conference, and he would be there as a representative of their sect. He said to him that he had to remember, his presence there was to elevate their sect's reputation. He asked his sect leader what that meant. His sect leader said to him that everyone in the demonic path had been unsatisfied with the leadership of the Empress for a long time, but not long ago. The dark clouds covered the sun, and a thunder tribulation occurred. Because of that event, many people were left restless, so they planned to send their young geniuses. This guy was more happy hearing about that, and said that he had to trample the disciples of the heavenly demonic sect under his feet in front of everyone. Then the Empress would suffer a great loss. His crazy look disgusted me, while he said that it was exactly what he wanted, and he wanted to see how she could hold her position as the leader of the demonic path. When that happened, I think he was looking forward to the downfall of our waifu, but it wouldn't happen. But now, outside, our MC had finally finished his cultivation and refreshed himself while stretching his body. He said that he was so lucky because the heavenly demon was just in a spiritual state, and he happened to be restrained by the thunder and lightning, or otherwise he might have been killed by the so-called heavenly demon ancestor. He said that from what he heard, the various forces were constantly fighting, and he wondered if he would definitely encounter dangerous situations in the near future. He said that his wife was right, that there wouldn't be someone to help him every time if there was danger. While he looking at the spiritual pearl that his wife had given him, the system popped up and said that it was a full moon night, and that it was full of aura, and that it was a good time to cultivate. He said that he had to work hard and increase his strength as soon as possible. He went to a good spot to cultivate and started to increase his cultivation. The members of his sect saw a person cultivating on the moonlight cliff so late at night, but when they realized that it was their patriarch who was cultivating, they were shocked. All the girls were excited and happy to see him. They said that on a full moon night, their patriarch was cultivating there instead of enjoying the night with their empress. Because of that, they became more energetic and crazy. They said that their patriarch was a hard-working and handsome man. While the male members, hearing those words, they were all become hype and motivated. But the truth is, they are angry and envious of him. The system popped up and said that he had shocked all the disciples and motivated them to cultivate. It rewarded him with a 10-fold moonlight aura absorption speed. When he heard that, he had no idea what they were shocked about, but he ignored it and went back to cultivate. He needed to focus with peace and without interruption. He ordered his system to activate the 10-fold moonlight aura absorption. Now that it was active, he absorbed the aura while holding the tool that his wife had given him. Because of the fast absorption, they noticed that the moonlight was going towards their patriarch, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. They said that their patriarch was truly divine. The great elder spoke to them and asked them what they were doing. Gathering together in the middle of the night, they seemed surprised, but they told him that he had to keep his voice down, because they didn't want to disturb their patriarch's cultivation. He had no idea what they were talking about, but when he saw it, he was so shocked and couldn't believe it. He shouted loudly and asked if his eyes were seeing was right, because their patriarch was actually cultivating in the middle of the night. He also didn't expect that all of their disciples were also cultivating. He saw this with confusion. The guy near him told him that he had to stop making noise, because it would disturb them while they were cultivating. Our MC, who was focusing on his cultivation, was absorbing the aura of the moonlight. He broke through again and reached the 2-star spiritual realm. He said that it was not bad, and that if he continued like that, he should be able to reach the Earth King realm within 2 months. He seemed happy about that. The elders were shocked and said that it had taken them 2 years to break through from the spiritual realm to the Earth King realm. They wondered if our MC was planning to reach it in 2 months. They said that even though he made it seem as easy as drinking water, he was an abnormal young one. The other disciples couldn't believe it. One of them asked what that thing on their patriarch's body was. Our MC was happily absorbing all the aura, while he was posing like a wholly enlightened Gautama. The system rewarded him with a faith cultivation by shocking all of them. So that's all for now, guys. See you in the next chapters.